All right, let's dive into something pretty amazing. Today, we're looking at a scientific study that connects two things you might not expect: gratitude and, believe it or not, your heart health. It's a really powerful idea, so let's get right into it. So, to really get why this research is so important, you first have to understand the scale of what we're talking about. In the US alone, more than 6 million people are living with heart failure. That's a huge number. And it means any new way we can find to help improve people's well being is a really, really big deal. Now, this study we're digging into focuses on a very specific group of people, those with what's called stage B asymptomatic heart failure. People call this the silent stage. Why? Because you have some underlying heart issues, but you feel totally fine. No symptoms at all. But here's the kicker. If the disease progresses from this stage, the risk of mortality just skyrockets. It jumps 5 times higher. So you can see why this is such a critical window to try and do something. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with this silent heart condition. Then we'll tackle something called the spirituality puzzle. After that, we'll look at the gratitude key, see what the study results actually showed us, and finally wrap it all up with the real power of thanks. First up, let's talk more about a silent heart condition. It's all about understanding just how high the stakes are in that quiet phase, before any symptoms show up. It's the moment where we might have the best chance to make a difference. So if this stage is so important, what can we actually do? Well, that leads us right into our next big topic, the spirituality puzzle. You see, for years, scientists have noticed this weird correlation. People who report a higher sense of spiritual well-being often seem to have better health. But just because two things happen together doesn't mean one causes the other, right? Which leads to a massive question. And that question is, what's really going on here? What's the mechanism? I mean, how does something kind of abstract like spiritual well-being turn into real physical health benefits, like sleeping better or feeling less depressed? That's the mystery these researchers wanted to crack. And that, my friends, brings us to the gratitude key. The researchers had a hunch. They started to wonder, what if gratitude, that simple feeling of being thankful for the good things in your life, what if that was the missing piece of the puzzle? What if it's the link that connects it all? So this team over at the University of California, San Diego, they put forward this hypothesis. They suggested that gratitude wasn't just another nice feeling on the side. They thought it might actually mediate the whole relationship. Now, mediate is a sciencey term, but all it really means is that it's the go-between. It's the thing that explains how you get from point A to point B. Oh, I love this slide because it makes the whole idea so simple. Think of it like this, right? Spiritual well-being is the power source, like a battery. And those better health outcomes, good sleep, better mood, that's the light bulb. So what's gratitude? Gratitude is the connecting cord. It's what lets the power from the battery actually flow to the light bulb and turn it on. See? No cord, no light. Okay, so to test this whole idea, they designed a study. They got 186 patients, all of them in that critical silent stage of heart failure, and they measured pretty much everything. Their gratitude levels, their spiritual well-being, sure, but also concrete stuff like their mood, how well they were sleeping, how tired they felt, and even things like inflammation markers in their blood. And now we get to the really good part, unlocking the results. After they crunched all the numbers and analyzed all that data, what did they actually find out? Well, first off, they found a super powerful direct link between just having more gratitude and having better health. I mean, look at this. People with more gratitude felt less depressed, they were less tired, they had better self-efficacy, which is basically their confidence in managing their own health, and they slept better. And get this, the connection was so strong it was even linked to lower levels of physical inflammation in their bodies. Wow. Okay, so we've established gratitude is good for you. Check. But did it solve the big puzzle? Was it the connecting cord we were talking about? Does it actually explain the long-observed link between spirituality and better health? And the answer from the data was a huge, resounding yes. This is it. This is the core discovery. The study found that gratitude fully mediated the connection between spirituality and both sleeping better and having a better mood. And it partially mediated the link for feeling less tired and having more self-efficacy. This was the big aha moment. So let's make sure we're totally clear on what these terms mean, because it's important. Fully mediated basically means that the positive effect of spirituality on things like sleep and mood seems to travel entirely through gratitude. You take gratitude out of the equation, and that specific benefit just disappears.
the connection breaks. Partially mediated means that for things like fatigue, gratitude is a major highway, but there might be a few other smaller side roads at play too.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section, the power of thanks. We've seen the science, we've seen the data, so now let's talk about why this is such a big deal and what it all means for us.
So here's the bottom line. First, gratitude isn't just some fluffy, feel-good emotion. It's a seriously powerful predictor of our health. Second, we now know it's a key reason why spirituality is connected to well-being. And maybe the most helpful part of all this is that it suggests that simple, basically free things like keeping a gratitude journal could be a real, tangible tool for improving people's health, especially for those patients in that critical, silent stage B window. And look, the scientists who did this study said it best themselves. They concluded that trying to increase gratitude may be a treatment for improving well-being. That word treatment is huge. It takes this idea out of the realm of self-help and puts it right into the world of real clinical value. So we'll end on this thought. This research is just a beautiful illustration of how deeply connected our minds and our bodies truly are. And if something as simple as choosing to focus on thankfulness can have a measurable positive impact on our physical health, well, that leaves a pretty powerful question for all of us to think about. What's one thing you can be thankful for today?